this. So it,
Okay, I think we're here. Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Friday. How are you? If you're joining me, I would love it if you would let me know in the comments so I can say hey to you. Welcome to Lunch and Learn. Hey, Debbie, I'm so glad to see you. Are you having a good day? Hello, Andrea. Y'all, it is so hot and humid outside. I had walked by the bathroom a few minutes ago and my hair was like, poof. It was so humid. So I pulled it up best I could. Hey, Tanya, it's good to see you. Happy Friday. So I have a fun project for us today. I think you're going to love it. So, first, let me give you some background. I'm trying so hard to not itch my eyes. Um, Thank you, Sherry. Thank you. She is having a better day today. This has been a hard week, but she's having a better day. So, um, I think it's just, let me make sure my computer's plugged in. It is. Okay. I just saw the cord and thought I had the wrong thing plugged in. When you have dementia, it's hard to change your environment and it just throws her off really bad. So, but she's having much better day. So thank y'all for the prayers. It means so much. And I know many of you understand. It's hard when your parent is not well. Um, but anyway, but thank you. Thank you, Sherry. I hope everybody's okay with all. I know there's been a lot of bad weather going through. This time it's been north of us, so we weren't affected by it other than the heat. So, hope y'all are okay. It is, Laurie. It's hard to put it into words. It's just, yeah, it's just hard, isn't it? Yeah. Well, we have a brand new month, and we're running just as I feel like I'm running behind. Maybe I'm not running behind, but I feel like I'm running behind. So we have released our April projects. So if you're in Creative Heart Studio, this is our big painting, and I've moved mine around so much. My bow is just all over the place, but that's okay. This is a watercolor painting, and I love this project. And I've heard from many of you that you do too. Um, there's lots of room for you to tuck away symbolic things for your faith journey. You can put salvation dates in there, baptism dates, however you want to do it, you can do it. um, there's plenty of room on this. This is big, and I love that. Also, i, I was going to secure this price tag. I just have not done it yet. But so up at the top it says Redeemer. Across the main portion it says worthy is the lamb, and so it's focusing on who Jesus is. And so it's got some of the names: holy, holy is he, Lamb of God, Prince of Peace, victorious. And then there at the bottom is the empty tomb. And we have these, the if you order the kit, some of them look like this, some of them look blue, and then there's a little piece of this gauze for the linen, just to show that it's empty. He's not there. The cross is empty. He is victorious. So this is just very special, and it's a way that we can focus on the cross. We can be reminded of the cross. And for those of you who have family coming for Easter, this is such a good display, a good visual reminder of what Easter is about. So this is inside the Creative Heart Studio, and we're going to be having so this is for Creative Hearts. Normally we meet on the second and third Tuesday, but next week would be that the second Tuesday because of the way the month fell. It's like I think April 1st was on a Tuesday, so we felt like that was anyway, it shifted a little bit. And I'm going to be out of town the 15th for one of Micah's concerts. So next all of that to say, next week, Tuesday night, we will have our first meeting with the we call it CAP around here, Creative Art the Printable Club, that we're going to have our first meeting with them. And then Thursday of next week, so Creative Hearts, Thursday of next week, I wanted to go ahead and get our Zoom in so that if you're stuck on any portion of this, I can help you with it. So that's why we're doing two of them next week. Then on, I think it's the 22nd, I think whatever that Tuesday is, we have a special guest. One of my friends is coming to do a presentation for us, Crystal Whitten. Some of y'all may know her. She is a Christian artist and she does lettering, and she does something a little bit different than mine, but it's similar. So, you know how I teach scripture journaling? We have a big notebook and we use that to do our lettering and break our scripture down. She does, oh goodness, I want to make sure I say it right. She does lettering in a note taking form. Some of you may have heard of sketch note. I'm butchering this. Anyway, the bottom line is be sure and come to that Zoom because she's going to show y'all how she uses lettering to take notes in church. Okay, I think you're going to love it. So that will be, I need to look it up. I think it's the 22nd. Tuesday night. That Zoom is going to be with Crystal, is going to be joining us to show us how she does her church note taking. Y'all are going to love it. So this is our painting project, and I don't have the printables handy, but I showed those on Tuesday night. So let me show you one more thing before I show you this new project that I have. Okay, so y'all know that we have the new printable club. Hey, Destiny and Diane. Y'all know we have the new printable club, and it's the new baby of the family. So I'm taking my artwork and reformatting it so that it can be printed, so that you can download it, print it off in different formats, different sizes. So there's 5x7s, there's 4x6, there's sizes for note cards, there's sizes for Bible journaling. It's just a wide array of things. And then I've also created, I think, 4 or 5 background pages, similar to kind of like scrapbook paper. Just think of it as designer pages that will coordinate with all the printables in that month's club. So for the April, it's all about crosses. That's what we're focused on, is crosses. And this Tuesday night at 6 is when we're going to have our first Zoom for the printable club. So I've been practicing, playing around with my different projects, playing around with making stuff with the printables. Well, I wanted to make a notebook, and I have made one notebook, and that's one of the things that we're going to do Tuesday night is a scripture journaling notebook. And I did this from a sketchbook, a spiral sketchbook. Well, I wanted to make something smaller, so I was actually digging through my stuff, looking for some laminating paper, and ran across something I forgot I had. So I've been playing around with it, and look what I made, y'all. This is canvas cloth, printable canvas cloth. So Tuesday night, I'm going to show y'all how to do the spiral notebook, and I'm going to show you how to make this smaller prayer journal out of this cloth. So I'm super excited about it. Super excited. So, and then these are going to be the bookmarks. So we'll have two different types of bookmarks. This is canvas. I'll also do some paper, but that's what we'll do. Okay. Um, all right. So I've told you about Printable Club. I told you about Crystal coming. I think I've told you everything. Now I can tell you what we're working on that's new. So we wanted to do an Easter assortment, a collection, and you'll soon see that on the website. And it's a variety of things. It's some shareable cards that it's all cross themed. So if you're looking for Easter cards, Easter decor, I've got some Easter prints. We're just pulling it all together into a collection. So it's kind of like a one stop place that you can get cards, you can get shareables. We've even got I think two different DIY things. So it's a good assortment of Easter things that's just all gathered together into one little space on our website. And that'll be later today. So, um, Sherry, I got this from Office Depot and I've had it for a while and I forgot I had it, but it's printable canvas cloth. I'll show you. I'll show you. We were super excited. We all squeal around here when something works. It's so we're super excited about it. Oh, one other thing for the creative hearts for the studio ladies. I know a lot of you ordered the kit. This is what the kit is, and thank y'all. You should have received them, or I think the last few went out yesterday. I was late getting this done, but it's about to be on the website. I also have this option. This is, I don't have it up here with me, but if you want to get just the paper, just this big paper with the line art, I'm going to have that on the website too. For those who don't really are not interested in the wood tag, you just want to paint the big painting. It'll also be on the website. So I wanted y'all to know that that's coming. Had a lot of family stuff, so I wasn't able to get it done. Let's see, Diane, do we outline the cross with turquoise? That's really up to you. I used a little bit of brown. You mean right through here? Is that what you mean? You can do that with turquoise. I had just a little bit of brown that I just put down a really light wash on mine. Okay, Sandy's used print canvas printable. Well, good. I was tickled. And we'll make a little prayer journal out of that. Yeah. So it's up to you, Diane. If you do the turquoise, I would do just a light wash, or you can take just some brown and just dilute it and just do a wash, just to help. What that basically does is it gives more formation to the cross, more definition. Maybe that's the word I'm trying to think of. More definition. Okay, so I think I told you everything now. I almost forgot to tell y'all that we're going to be adding that big traceable. Well, it's not a traceable. I hadn't decided. It's like a big coloring book page, but I don't know what to call it. But it's printed on watercolor paper. Hey, Marilyn. Okay, I'm glad you're here. So now let me show you the last thing, and this is our project. So for this, I have well, shoot, I guess I already taped them down. So I made a smaller variation of our cross. Not our cross, but some of the florals from the cross. And here's why. So in this cross, this is focused on worthy is the Lamb. It's focused on who he is. Because it just helps me to focus on him and who he is. But I also wanted to do something that is like the benefits or the result of this. The tomb is empty. So what I did is I took some of the florals from this design, and I have made them into little cards, little 4.5 by 4.5 cards. And I was going to hold them up and show you, but I've already taped them down. So I know. Let me get the overhead. Then you can see it. Hang on just a second. So if all right, I'll have these so that you can purchase them. But if you're in Creative Heart Studio, you don't have to, because you could make these yourself, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because you have the designs. You can trace them onto something smaller. But I thought this would just be a good, a nice little treat for people who might want to test out what we do in Creative Heart Studio. So this 4 cards, and the focus of this is the result, or the result of the cross, or what came after the cross. So I've got on here, he is risen, he lives, I can face tomorrow because he lives. And you can reread that. You could say, because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Then this one down here is new life in Christ. So what I wanted to do today is to just show you, it's going to be kind of like a refresher for those of you who've already started working on your cross, but for others, this might be brand new. So let me get right here. So what I'm going to use, this is watercolor paper. I feel like my camera is off. Let's see if that's better. So I'm using watercolor paper. I have printed these on my paper. Hold on just a second. My stuff is turning over. I've got watercolor dots, and I just recommend for this project to have something white as your palette. So I have used this little thing here. This is a piece of pottery. It's supposed to be cracker holders, but it's perfect for watercolor. I've also got this that I've been using. But I thought what I would do for showing you for this, if I can slide this over, I want you to be able to see it. Now, I think y'all can see that. I wanted you to see how we can kind of mix some of these colors, because this is an example of one that I did earlier. I put it on one of those little skewers, and I'm thinking that this could be during Easter. You could put it down. Oh, absolutely. Please sprinkle it out. Please. Yes, Sherry, thank you. So you could kind of tuck this into a green plant, and then you would have this sticking out, or in a vase or something like that. It's a little skewer. But this is just some ideas, because I've already told y'all I'm going to use my big tag on my fireplace mantle. But I want to put some other things across the mantle. So that's kind of where this came from. Okay. So we will have these on the website later today. If you just want to purchase a pack, it's a set of 4 with a set of, where are my words? Paint dots. All you would need is the water and your paintbrush. So because this is scaled down from the big cross, the flowers are big, but these are scaled down. So you're probably going to want a smaller paintbrush. Hey, April, I'm glad to see you. So this is a round number 8. This is a little, I almost said disposable. Travel is not disposable. My daughter had given that to me. This is a good size. This is a really thin round brush. It's a number 2. You wouldn't be able to do the big places good, or you could. It's just going to take more steps. But this would be good for these small areas. Another brush that's good for this is these little water brushes. Okay. So what I thought I would do, let me move my keyboard. I want to paint these with you, and then I've got a couple of them over here that are dry, and I'll show you how to finish them out, because you have to basically wait until they get dry to finish it out. So with this, these colors that we're using are very, very vibrant. This is phthalo turquoise. A tiny tad is all you need of that. Phthalo green, a smidgen is all you need. They're vibrant colors. This olive green is beautiful and it's vibrant. The Bordeaux is very, very bold and vibrant. This rose madder is more of a softer color, so you might need a little bit more of it. This cactus flower, it's the lightest color of all of them. This, I think it's called carbazole violet. It's very intense. The quin yellow is intense. And then the new gamboge, that's not how that color looks. I got some blue on it and it turned green. So but that's what I'm working with. So if you've already seen your lesson in Creative Hearts, you know that I talk about really diluting these, but I know some of y'all have not seen it yet, so I want to just show you. So I wet my brush, and I'm going to pull off some of this turquoise right here. I'm just going to get that part that's wet. So two little dips into it is really all I need. Then I'm going to add some water, probably three or four little drops of water. And then the thing that you can do, and I usually keep these handy as little scraps of paper, you could test it on there to see if it's light enough. I could actually put more water in there, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Because what I'm going to use this color for is just a very simple wash on the background. And what I'm doing is I'm going to be very intentional, and I'm just going to get right up to the line work, the line art, and think of this like coloring. This is like a giant coloring book. And we're just using watercolor instead of crayons. But I guess you could use crayons to do this. You could use color pencils. You could use markers. I like to encourage y'all to use what you have. Just use what you have. And you know what I did? I forgot my salt. I bet it's over at that other table. Okay, so another thing that I forgot to do is I did not tape it down across the top. So the reason I have these taped down is because I'm putting a good bit of water on this, and it's watercolor paper, so it can handle it, but it will cause it to buckle just a little. So I did I did the masking tape to tape it down, but I got sidetracked and I never went back and did the top. So let me get right in here. And on a few of these, it kind of looks like some of the lines got off and it's kind of hard to tell what's what. So you just make your own artistic decision. If you're not sure, is that supposed to be green or is that supposed to be blue? Well, you can just decide. It's okay. So see how I'm getting there? Sherry, you just made my day because I've been waiting to get some feedback to make sure that the format that we did that coloring book is good for y'all. And I do plan to do, I've got several more that I want to do, but I kind of wanted to make sure the one I did was a good format. So thank you for that feedback. I really do appreciate it. Okay, good. I love these colors. They're beautiful, aren't they? So I'm going to work up here on the top. What I should have done is started on this side and gone over, but I was too busy talking. Okay, so what I did with the Creative Hearts ladies is when all this was pooled up and it had a little puddle of water, I sprinkled salt in it, and salt, it's just table salt. It just has a really cool effect when the paint dries. And I love it. I love using it in my artwork. And I was going to show y'all today, but I forgot it on the other table, and I'm not going to get up and go get it like I usually do, because I'm going to try and stay on task, because I just want y'all to see and not be intimidated by painting with watercolor. So there's an example where I just painted in that leaf without thinking, but I'm not going to stress over it. I'm just not. So now when I get over here to the words, I'm going to cover these words with the paint, because what I decided to do on these cards, because it's small, I went ahead and made the wording darker because it would be hard for you to trace over it because it's so small. And that way you don't have to worry about tracing over the letters. So, like right here. See, I'm just going to go over the word part with just a very light wash. And you don't have to do it this way. You could do your colors first. I just thought I would do it this way with y'all, because it is a little bit easier to work with. All right, so now for this one, I'm going to come over here. I didn't think about this, but what you could do with yours is you could change out the background color if you wanted to. Okay, making sure I didn't see any questions on there. So in the big one, I made this butterfly yellow. I just love bright yellow butterflies, and we've started seeing some. Have y'all started seeing some at your house, butterflies? And I saw a hummingbird. I've got to get my hummingbird food out. Haven't had a chance to do that. I love hummingbirds. Mama owl, for those of y'all that know, we have an owl family that has moved into the cedar tree beside my studio. She's doing well. She's hanging there with her nest, and she's just so adorable to watch. I've just had the best time. It's just been a really sweet blessing, that the Lord, it was good timing, and I'm thankful for the Lord for working it out for her to have babies over here. I love animals. I love birds. I just love all the things, and it's been really sweet. I've never seen them up close. I've actually painted. I need to show y'all. Before I even had one of these in my yard, I painted. It's a barred owl, is what she is. Not a barn, but barred, like Barred. Have no idea where that name came from, but they have the cutest faces. Both my daughters have cats, but my youngest daughter has a very large white cat, and he's got gorgeous eyes. And this owl, something about this owl makes me think about my grand cat. We call them grand. They're our furry grands. And I can use the binoculars and go out and just watch her. And they've got very distinctive sounds. So sometimes I'll hear her and I'll just step outside and get my binoculars and watch her. And she'll yawn and stretch and scratch, and she's just adorable. She's just adorable. So she's doing well. I saw the dad come by one day. I don't remember what day it was. My days are all messed up this week. But saw him come by and gave her a break. So she left the nest for a nearby tree, and then he was nearby. It was so cute because he was in a different tree watching the nest, So it was sweet. Okay. See how this is pooling up right in there? I love that look. I love when it dries like that. I love it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over here with my buttercups. I love buttercups. They actually remind me of my mother-in-law. She always had beautiful buttercups lining her driveway. All right, so I want to show you what's going on here. I don't know if you can tell it or not, but I rinsed my brush, but I rinsed it in that water that has turned blue. So guess what's happening? It's turning my yellow green, that's how color works, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blot it a little bit. But anyway, we would go see her, and I can always remember they would start coming through the ground about the time of winter that you think, is winter ever going to end? So to me, buttercups are like a symbol of hope. Do y'all have a flower like that that is like the first flower that you see in spring? I'm just curious, what's your first flower of spring? So I've got one layer of the yellow down, and I'm just looking to see, is there anywhere else that I need to do the yellow? Because what will happen is the more I rinse my brush in these other colors, the dirtier my water is going to be. So, yes, you can, Wendy. I don't know, daffodils. Yeah. I guess that's what buttercups are. I've been calling them buttercups. Daffodils. Yes. April. Thank you. Thank you. Tulips. We don't get tulips. Well, we don't have any planted in our yard. That's why we don't get them. If we planted some, I'm sure we would. But I think you have to plant those early on, like pretty early. All right, so I'm putting just a thin wash down, and I'm going to kind of move over to this other area. I'm looking at my paintings, and where are the areas that I'm going to use yellow? Because I'm just going to try and have them go ahead and put my yellows down. Daffodil Festival. Where do you live, Tracy? That would be so much fun. All right, so this new gamboge, this looks bad because I got green on it, but it's a beautiful color. It's kind of a yellowy orange color, and it's really good for adding some depth to the yellow. And so I'm just touching it really lightly. And because my Quin yellow is still damp, they're kind of just melding together, and that's the effect I want. I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but if you want the watercolor to be darker, just let that first layer dry and then add another layer on top, and it'll lay on top, and it's going to look darker. When you add the color to wet watercolor, they just kind of start blending together, and that's another effect. Neither one of them, there's not one that's better than the other. Okay, so now I'm going to switch, and I'm going to start using my plate. So I'm going to get some of this violet over here. It's super duper vibrant. And that's what I want to use for my irises. And I also want to use some of this Bordeaux. Both of these colors are very vibrant, and they're so pretty, y'all. Okay, April has a tulip festival. Wouldn't that be so fun to go to different flowering festivals? Just travel take a little road trip. I think that would be fun. Okay, so look what I'm doing. This is a really dark and vibrant color. If I touch my yellow, they're going to run together. Oh, I was going to put that other purple in there. Oh well, I'll come back to it. All right, so I'm just going to do this outer petal, and I'm leaving some white spots. Now, if for those of you just joining, if you're in Creative Hearts, you have the full tutorial for this. This is just a small version of it that I wanted to share. Wanted y'all to see how relaxing painting with watercolor can be, and it's like coloring. So we have these cards. These watercolor cards will be available on the website later if you want to get some and paint this yourself. This is made from the same flowers that are in the traceables. So you can also make your own cards. But this is just to give you an idea of something else you can do with that design. Okay, so there's this other color. It's very pretty. It's got like a metallic in it. These are all Daniel Smith colors. So it's called Duochrome Cactus Flower. And somebody looked up that the other day. I don't remember who it was. Might have been April. I think I don't remember what it's got in it, y'all. It's got like little flecks. So it may be some sort of, I was going to say gemstone. I don't know if it is or not. I might be making that up. So I'm using that right there in that center part. So I'm going to let that purple rest and we'll come back. Oh, wow, Karen, I'm glad to hear from you. Snow-capped mountains. How about that? I bet that's beautiful. All right, so I'm letting that rest. Then I'm going to come down here to this sweet little butterfly, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this Bordeaux on the bottom part of his petal, because basically what I'm trying to do is I have a touch of all the colors in each one of these cards, and that way it's all going to work together. You don't have to worry about something not matching because you've got little touches of each of the colors. They're in different quantities, or yeah, I think quantity is the right word. Like some cards, like this one's going to have a lot of purple, but we'll add some touches of the other colors. This one has a lot of yellow, but we'll add some of the touches of the other colors in there, and it all is going to work well together. Okay. All right. So I'm trying to keep up with the time too, because y'all know I have a hard time keeping stuff. Oh, Lilac Festival. How about that? Okay, so now I want to go to this guy, or I think she's probably a lady. So I'm going to use this Rose Madder, and I'm just getting some off, and I'm putting it on my plate right here because I want to mix up a little bit of coral for this. And so I'm going to do that with the yellow. So I already had some yellow on there. See how it's beginning to turn orange? So because it's a pink mixed with yellow, it's going to be more of a coral. So I feel like I need just a little bit more yellow on there. So let me pull a little bit off. Wow, that's a lot of yellow. This is, oh goodness, this is how I roll with mixing up colors. This is why I buy so many tubes of things that are already the color I want them. Okay, it reminds me of cooking, and you go in and you're going to add, especially if you cook grits, like you add a little bit more water and then all of a sudden you don't have enough, you have more water than grits. So it's like, oh goodness, now I got to add some more grits. And you just trying to, no, a better example is cereal. You know, when you have a bowl of cereal and you get down to the bottom and you've got some water, I mean milk left. So you're like, well, I'll add a little bit more cereal because I don't want to waste my milk. So you add a little bit more cereal and then it's like, oh my goodness, now I've got too much um cereal and I need more milk. Do y'all ever do that or is it just me? Okay, so I've got a base coat down. It's okay, April. Um, what you making for lunch? I had cottage cheese and a big bowl of cottage cheese and pineapple. And what else did I have? Protein bar. Okay, so I've got a good base of color. Oh, doggone it. I see another little bud right here I missed. Let's get him. All right, do y'all have any questions about this? Chicken nuggets. That sounds good. Okay, so now I feel like I can go ahead and start with my greens up here in that corner, but I keep finding little things that I missed. So basically, when you're doing several at a time, or if you're doing that great big cross, it helps, to me anyway, it helps to do all the pinks at the same time, all the yellows. It helps. And you're going to want to keep a paper towel nearby. I know, Laurie. And you know what? We finally have an empty nest, and so a lot of times at night, Terry and I will eat cereal for supper because we don't have to set a good example for anybody. We can do what we want to. So we'll eat cereal. Do y'all have a favorite cereal? Okay, so looky here. This is so I had that really pretty coral mixed up. So I'm going to go ahead and add it. I'm going to sprinkle it around in some different places. I know I'm talking a lot and I'm trying to stay on track. So I need some over here. So I might do a few little dots right in here. And then I think I'll add a little bit onto these leaves on the tips. And I'll show you how that will work out. It'll be a nice little effect. All right, so now I need to get a little bit of coral over here. I'm going to put it in the center right there. Those little daffodils. Okay, so for those just joining in, I'm going to use these cards to go along with my cross. I know a bit to decorate my mantle. And so the cross, this is the, what is this color called? Phthalo green. This green is beautiful and it's very vivid. I don't remember, I think somebody had asked me for an emerald green color. I think this would be a good one. So for these are irises. I'm going to use this color. So this, and I'm also going to darken it a little bit. Once I get my base down, I'm going to darken it a little bit with one of these other colors. What color do you think I should add to this to darken it? Anybody got a guess? Yes, card box. I love that idea. Yes, absolutely. And if y'all need some watercolor dots, we're going to have this sampler available. We're going to have a lot available and it's going to come all at once. It's basically what it's going to be. But we had a lot of family stuff going on, so we had to do a little bit of shifting. All right, so I'm going to move this plate because now I'm going to show you how I'm going to manage my greens. Yep, you could do the black. We could do the opposite color. Also, I don't have a black, so if you didn't have a black, we could take one of the opposites, like on the color wheel, red is the opposite. I don't have a red, but this rose madder would help. Let's see. So this is the phthalo green. So I'm going to pull a little bit of phthalo green off. I don't think y'all can, yeah, you can see it. And I'm going to put it right here. Then I'm going to pull a little bit of this rose madder and see if I can darken it up a little bit. Look how pretty that is. It makes it look almost blue. So I'm going to just put it at the bottom, at the base. And I'm trying to just put it sporadically. And once all this dries, y'all, then we'll come back and we'll be able to do some detail and I'll show you. That's fascinating because this has turned almost the same color as this turquoise. Isn't that interesting? And that was from adding that pink to the phthalo. All right, so over here, I want to use this olive green. So I'm just going to pull some off. And I already had a little bit of the phthalo green on there, so I'm just going to leave it. All right, so I'm just going to put a light wash down. And I'm going to try and get these finished up so y'all can see how to do it. Do y'all have a hard time talking sometimes when you're painting? If I'm in a tight spot like that little space is, I have to concentrate. Okay, it looks a little bit messy, but it's going to come together. All right, so I'm going to add some green down here. I like doing my greens this way because that way I can really have all kinds of variations of green just by having the olive green, add a little bit of the turquoise, or have some olive green, add a little bit of the phthalo green. It makes a nice variation to your greens. It gives a lot of interest. Okay, so now I can pull in some of this green and do this little flower. And there's another variation. Okay, so now when I get to this one, this is supposed to be like eucalyptus. I'm going to put a little green on that. This is supposed to be a little cone flower. So for the eucalyptus, I want to use the phthalo turquoise. But that phthalo turquoise is also what's in the background. So I'm going to have to add something else to that phthalo turquoise. And I'm going to use the olive green, and just because that's a different combination that we've not done. And I'm going to thin it out, and I'm going to carefully just add some of that color right in here. And this will be the eucalyptus leaves. Do y'all like eucalyptus? I love the way it smells. Okay, I'm just making sure nobody's got questions. So I'm almost ready to swap now over to the ones that are dry, because what you'll need to finish it out is some sort of pen for the pen work. You could use a micron pen. You could use the Artist Pitt pen. It's really your preference. I mean, honestly, it's just your preference. All right, now I'm going to get some of the olive green, and I'm going to do some of that right there. I want some variation in my greens on this page. All right. Oops, that was supposed to be a bulb. Oh well, it's a fat leaf now. See, we're not going to stress over this. Okay, so now I could take a touch of the olive and touch it down here at the base of the eucalyptus and tie these together. So over here, it's a lot of olive. Over here is just a tiny little touch while it's wet, and it's going to make its own color. It's going to mix itself. Okay, I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but oh, it's so pretty. Okay, so I think that's all I need to do to this. Now, while this is drying, I want to show you how easy it is to finish them out. Of course, I have my computer sitting on, so let me do this. Let me move these out of the way. I can't move it because my computer's on it. That's okay. All right, so you could use, these are some that are dry. I don't know where the other two are. How did I lose that? I can lose stuff so fast. All right, this is one of them that's finished. I put it on the skewer. And basically what I did with this is I used my pit pen. This is the S, so it's the small tip. And I outlined the petals of this coneflower. And then I outlined around some of the eucalyptus leaves, not all of them, just some of them. And then I came over here to the iris leaves and I outlined some of those. And I basically just took this and just went over the letters. And then on the sides, I tore the sides and I took my watercolor brush and some watercolor paint and I painted it along the edge. And look how it just pulled up there. I like the way it did that. And then I glued this velvety ribbon to the front of the skewer and then just glued it on there. And I'll put this in a vase. I don't know where I'm going to put it yet, but I will take pictures and show y'all. I could make the skewer short and put it in my, yeah. Okay. So that's perfect. All right. So let me show you how to outline this and I'll show you how it looks. I put it in my lamb. Y'all remember the lamb that I did last Friday? All right. So I'm just going to outline around some of these. And remember, with watercolor, if you want it to be darker, all you have to do is wait for it to dry and just add a little bit more color to it. Or you could use a neo color to add some more color. You could use, I think I showed y'all those grabby markers that I purchased. They're acrylic markers, but acrylic markers lay on top. They have good coverage. So if you see in a description about a marker that says it has good coverage, that means it's going to lay on top, really well. And I'll show you that. So this is just the little stem. You could outline that with a pencil. If you want the edges to be softer, I would do a pencil. But I wanted you to be able to see it, so I'm doing my marker. Okay, can you kind of see that? And then over here, and I've got the neo, this is a yellow, so I could look at the difference that makes. See, I could go in and do that. I could go right here and make it a little bit darker right there. I could do that same thing down here like that. I could use a neo color like this and put a little water on it to make it look liquidy, the other thing that you could do is like the pencils. You know, we do these super colors. You could use a watercolor pencil. The Derwent pencils, those work well. That also gives a fun effect. So you can come in and do a little bit of depth. This is like a fold in the leaf, so I can add some depth shadowing right there, and it makes that look more realistic. So just using a few variations in tools also gives an interesting effect to your artwork. And I've also pulled out one of these. But does that help you, give you some ideas of how you can do this? And then let me show you this. I know it's almost 1 o'clock. Goodness gracious, where does the time go? All right, so I'm going to use this for the little yellow parts there because it's got good coverage. Okay, what? My computer's doing something. Maybe to behave. See how that really makes it pop? I do too. April, I'm going to do a bunch of these. I hope I have time to do more. And I think this is going to look really good. It's going to make a nice piece, complementary pieces for my big cross. Okay, so just to recap, we're going to have these on the website available for purchase later today. If you are in Creative Hearts Studio, you have the traceable for these flowers. So you could trace it, but you know what else? You could draw these. You could draw them. Every one of y'all could draw it. If you want them already printed out on the watercolor paper, then you could order the set. And the set is the cards with the watercolor dots. Wendy had asked if we had the watercolor dots available for purchase, and we will. That's another thing that Adrienne is working on adding. And the other thing is I wanted to do this when we released the kit, but I was not able to. But we've got it now, so that if you just want the design printed out for you, the big design, we're going to have that as an option also. So we've got a lot of options coming later today. So I wanted to go ahead and talk to y'all about them and let you know what's coming. We'll send out an email, so check your email, or you could check the Facebook page, but we'll send you an email whenever it's ready. We've got, I put together some bundles of shareables, you know, the little cards that we put in our encouragement box. We had some crosses from a couple of years ago, so I put together a bundle of those at a discounted price. If you want something like that to maybe pass out at Easter, look at that, how that pops. This is a purplish, it's kind of a fuchsia color. Just adding that to the tip of the leaf, how that ties this whole piece together. Love it. I love how color works. God is so, I mean, he's amazing in just being who he is, but as a creator and just how he designed colors and how they work, it's just fascinating to me. Then the last thing I wanted to show you, these are the markers that I showed y'all maybe Tuesday. Somebody had asked me if I had ordered those. These are acrylic markers, extra fine tip. So what you could do is, let me shake this a little bit. If you wanted to add a little bit more color, you could just put a touch of color down here just in the words. And you don't need much, just a little bit. you could, add color. I don't know how to explain it other than I think when you mix and use a variety of supplies like this, like we've used the pencil, we've used the Neo color, add a little bit of acrylic marker in there, it just has such a neat effect, I think. Makes it very unique. So, and I've been pleased with these. I was not too sure about them, but I've been really pleased with them. Make that cross just a little bit bigger. And then I could add a little bit right in here, add some depth. So if you have the Sharpie creative markers or the Poscas, these are comparable to the Poscas and the Sharpie creative markers. The reason I wanted to try these is because they have the fine tip, and I personally feel like I'm complete now on my acrylic markers. I've tested a lot of different ones, and I've settled on I like the Sharpie brush tips, and I use my Poscas for different things, and now I have these, and that's got the fine tip, and I think I'm set. I shouldn't need any markers for a while. And I know that with use, they'll wear down, but I have a good assortment now, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yes. Yes, Marilyn. It's so cool, and it is hard to even explain the the visual effect it has. And with the outlining, you don't have to outline every part of it. That might make it look too dark, but just pick and choose, the ones that you want to put a little bit of emphasis on. Um, yeah. So these are what I think I'm calling these the Because He Lives cards. Um, they're just, I made these to coordinate with the big cross. And all right, so these are almost finished. These are dry. So now all I have to do is do the detail work on these, and then these will be ready to pop. And you could use them like they are. You could put some background paper to it. Lots of ways to use them. Does anybody have any questions before? Let's see. There. Does anybody have any questions? Let's get that turned off. Thank y'all for being here. I'm always glad to see y'all. Where are the printables? Sherry, the printables for your cross should be in the hub. Look for your email, because I asked, what did Adrienne tell me? I think you should have received an email with the link to the printables. But I think if you go to the hub, it should be under your video. If you don't see it, let her know. Let her know. And I did not make printables for these little cards. Like, I just made these earlier today. I just made these like 2 hours ago. So these are brand spanking new. And what I did was I just pulled from those quadrants and put them on cards. That's all I did. So you can take your traceable and do the same thing. Now, if you want them already printed out, she's going to have that on the website soon, a set of these already printed out. Does that help? I was like at the very last minute doing these. All right. All right, girls. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, that you get to enjoy this beautiful spring weather. Does that make sense? It does make sense. Okay. All right. Pull out your supplies, work with what you have, and just do something creative. Just spend some time creating. Listen to, get the Bible app or Audible or something, listen to some of the I've been listening through John. Start preparing your heart. Start preparing your heart for Easter. And these creative projects can help you do that. All right. Let's see. Does the app not work anymore? Just go to the Tracy, that's a good question. I never had the app. So probably going to need to get you to ask Adrienne about that. You should be able to go to our website and log in from there. Thank y'all for praying for her. That means so much. And for me. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Y'all go have a good weekend. Bye-bye.